16. Joining me in the studio right now, Ficke and Marie Lee from the Kiwanis of Mount Washington Valley. How are you guys today?
Great, Rob.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you could come down. And today we're going to talk about Angels and Elves. It's that time of year, the season of Angels and Elves, and there's some big doings, 20 years of Angels and Elves, a new location, everything else. So let's jump right into it. And for those who don't know, and there may be a few, but hopefully not, who aren't familiar with Angels and Elves, let's give an overview of what that's all about.
Go ahead, Marie.
Well, the program is set up so that applicants will come in and they'll fill out a form, one for each child. They have to tell us why they need help at Christmas time, and typically it's because the cost of fuel, hours have been cut back at work, we have people on disability or people who are just barely making their regular bills. They'll fill out the child's first name, their sizes. There's a list of needs, which over the past few years we've seen needs like warm blankets, pillows, very basic needs that people have. Typically it's warm clothing, winter boots. We have teachers that tell us that kids can't go out at recess because they don't have proper outerwear. And then there's a list of toys, things that they would like for Christmas. We review the applications and put them out for sponsorship. Other people will come in and say, I'll sponsor a child or a family of children, and they look at the list and wants and needs, and they'll go out and shop for them. They can wrap them if they like, or they can bring them back to us unwrapped, and we have volunteers who love to wrap, which is great. And they'll have wrapping parties, and we'll get everything all wrapped, and we'll give the parent a call, and they'll come and pick them up all wrapped, and they can put them under the tree.
That's terrific. So it really gives for a lot of people who wouldn't have a complete Christmas or a full Christmas, you're providing that.
Absolutely, but this is a whole valley-wide project. We have 60 volunteers.
Approximately 60 volunteers.
And most of them are not Kiwanians. They're people who have been involved in Angels and Elves for the 20 years that it's been in existence. And it's their Christmas spirit. They love to be involved. We have businesses that will do fundraisers for us. We just had a breakfast last Sunday from the Masons who raised money for us. We have groups that bring us toys, the Harley-Davidson owners. We just had the White Mountain Board of Realtors brought us new toys. So Kiwanis organizes the program, but it's truly a community effort.
That's terrific. Now, if somebody were to come in and want to sponsor a family, but didn't feel that they could go out shopping or whatever, could they sponsor them financially and then somebody else would do the shopping? Is that doable too?
Yeah, there's a couple aspects to the program along that line. There are those who will take a family, whether it be 1 to 4 or 5 kids that are in the family. Others who either don't have the time or can't afford that will make monetary contributions. Now, we're realistic enough to know that we're not going to sponsor every child. You're talking about 650 children. We then take money that comes in the form of contributions and send our own buyers out to finish off those children who haven't been sponsored. So we're heavily reliant upon contributions also.
Well, so if you feel you can't go out and do the shopping, whatever, obviously any type of monetary contribution is very welcome.
Absolutely.
Now, you're in a new location this year, in a very visible location. As I've driven by, I'm like, wow, look at that. You got I saw the tables set up and everything else, and so a nice new location. Let's talk about the new location.
Well, it's where Wild Things was located for quite a few years. It was vacant. We looked at a couple other spaces. And when we were shown this one, we said, gee, this is ideal because of the room. We need at least 8,000 to 9,000 square feet to lay out all the tables and all the clothing that we have. And it's worked out wonderfully well.
And that's, of course, right across from Rite Aid, next to Ralph Lauren, right down in that area. So, I mean, what a convenient spot for you. And like I said, a great spot so you can see what's going on.
Well,
now, if people want to get involved and volunteer to be a rapper, be an elf, what do they do for that? How do they get in touch with you for that?
well, they could just come right on in. Now, typically what we do, to explain what the floor plan looks like, we have usually about 12 team leaders, and we have 12 stations laid out, and each station and team leader is responsible for 50 children. The processing of them, the checking of the bags that come in to make sure all the gifts are there, and if they need wrapping, then they'll put a tag on the bag ready to wrap. Volunteers who come in would like to do some wrapping, we take them into the area where the bags are. There's one that's ready to wrap, and they go to it.
Now, if somebody hasn't signed up yet, someone in need, is there still time for that?
Yes, we're accepting applications up through December 2nd. And we know a lot of the applications have been mailed out, because we have people who have problems with transportation.
Yep.
So they'll come back to us. Right now, we're caught up on wrapping, because right now, before Thanksgiving, it tends to start slow, and then it really ramps up right after Thanksgiving. And we have many families who have second homes up here in the valley who come up for Thanksgiving, and it's become their tradition to come down to Angels and Elves on Black Friday, select a family to buy for, and they go out shopping at
Terrific.
Settlers Green, bring them back to us, and then they go back to Massachusetts or Connecticut, Rhode Island, and they've helped us here in the valley, and they say there's nothing like it back home.
Well, that's terrific. And now, the other thing, too, is that Thanksgiving is a week later this year, so
Yes.
that kind of puts you on a little shorter timeline.
Certainly does.
Progression.
So really puts some need, kind of ramps up the need there, too.
Exactly.
When we get closer to the last week of operation, I wish the public could take a look at the facility and what it looks like when there's over 600 bags of gifts that have been processed and are waiting for pickup. And to see people coming in with bags after having finished their shopping, and those who were sponsored taking their bags out, my worst fear is that there is a bag that's going to get mixed up.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate so far.
Well, that's why you need that 9,000 square feet. Just to,
Absolutely.
It's a big organizational effort, but we've tweaked it from year to year, and we have a pretty good system, and our team leaders are all well experienced. But it's people don't realize how extensive it is if they haven't been there. Another thing that we do with the cash that comes in, and we appreciate the donations that come in, is some of us work on this all year long, and after the holidays, usually around March, we go out shopping when all of the outerwear is steeply discounted, so we can take those donation dollars and stretch them much further.
that's terrific.
So we buy jackets at 80%, sometimes 90% off, and then carefully store them so we have those to use for those children that don't have a sponsor, or to help a sponsor. If someone would like to sponsor and they don't feel that they could buy all of the things on the list, that's fine. Come in and buy what you can, or shop with your children. We have many people who teach their children the spirit of giving. They'll select a child of a similar age and go out and have their child help pick out items for another child that wouldn't have something. And if that's all they can afford, that's fine, because we can supplement that with our volunteer shoppers and the donation dollars.
That's terrific. Well, we just showed a picture of the Wild Things site. So again, very easy to find. Now, if someone wanted to just go out and if instead of sponsoring a family or whatever, go out and buy a bunch of toys or clothes, is that something you want to do too?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's how you augment the other thing.
Yes.
So there's so many different ways that you can participate in Angels and Elves. Obviously, monetarily, sponsoring a family, picking up, like you say, going out on Black Friday, isn't that a great
Exactly.
opportunity to pick up some extra toys and games and such like that?
Not only games, we like games, board games for those children that are 10, 11, 12, games like Monopoly or Uno or Sorry,
Yeah.
Clue. Those types of games are always popular. But people can buy warm pajamas of any size. Just bring us pajamas.
Yeah.
We have a lot of hats and mittens already, but warm pajamas are always on the list of needs because we know that many people have their homes turned, the heat's turned down very, very low.
Right.
So they're looking for warm clothing for the children.
Well, it's just terrific. So, is there a website?
Yeah, they can go to mwvkiwanis.org, and there's a link to Angels and Elves on it that gives a complete set of instructions and how to do what.
And that's terrific. And you can always swing by. Now, what are the hours that someone's going to be down there at the Angels and Elves headquarters?
Well, right now we're open Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from noon until 6 in the evening. And then after Thanksgiving and starting in December, we'll be open every day from 11 o'clock until 6, until the program's over with on the weekend of the 12th, 13th of December.
Oh, well, that's terrific. I mean, kudos to you guys for everything that you do to help organize it, and to really all the volunteers and everybody who participates, and the sponsors and everybody else. It's a great thing. It's in my opinion a good example of what the Mount Washington Valley is all about.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Few people have any idea of the enormity of this program. Since we've been keeping records, we estimate that we have taken care of over 6,000 children. And if you think that there are approximately 10 gifts in a bag, and you have 600 children times 10, over 8-9 years that we've been keeping the records, and you figure that each sponsor spends in the neighborhood of about $125 to maybe $150 per child, you can do the math and see what's going on in this community.
Yeah, unbelievable, and just the giving spirit. And what a perfect time of year for it, obviously.
It is.
I'd like to leave with one story that
Absolutely.
I think sums it all up. And that was approximately a year or so ago. There was a young girl, 10 years old. Well, she was 9. She was having her 10th birthday in this time frame. And she went out with a note to all the friends that were coming to her birthday party. Please don't bring me any gifts. Take them to Angels and Elves.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
That's just terrific. Well, again, Angels and Elves, located right at the former Wild Things place. You can go to the website, the MWV